All right. Good afternoon. Good morning. Good day, I guess. Um, Welcome to all the YouTubers and Facebookers and Instagrammers and Twitterers. Hope you are having a great day so far. Thank you for tuning in. As always, feel free to drop something in the live chat, and I will try to address it. And if you want to leave a comment after the fact, that's cool too. I will definitely try to do my best to address that. If everyone has kind of been following along with the progression here, we are now in beginning to make music number 10. So last week we were talking about reverbs and delays, and a little bit before that EQ and compressing, and then kind of before that just coming up with ideas for little for songs, for music. So I wanted to kind of take a look back and talk a little bit about arranging the music that we've got. And we've only got like a little 16 bars right now, but the arrangement is definitely it's something that I'm just kind of drawn to naturally. Sounds, I think that's kind of one of the things that got me really attracted to music was being really interested in sounds and being really drawn to them and wanting to recreate them and then manipulate that. So for me, this is something that I personally just really into. And so I started to think, okay, well, what's the first thing? We've got our melody, we've got our bass. So maybe I grew up playing bass. Grew up playing electric bass, studied acoustic bass in college. So I feel like bass is the place. Bass is home base. So I was just like, all right, let me get some bass happening here. And again, kind of going into what I'm really into right now. I've started to get into the physics of sound. If you've seen these videos, you probably know that that's something that I'm really into. And so a good way for me to explore that was with the use of synthesizers. So I was just like, all right, let's talk a little bit about synthesis today. And sorry if I'm talking a lot. I kind of get going and don't know how to stop myself. But then that got me into, okay, we're going to talk about hardware synthesis or software synthesis. And I figured software synthesis, since hopefully that's something that people all have access to through their DAWs. But I just want to pull up this little piece of hardware right here. So this is modeled after a Moog. And Moog was one of the first commercially available synthesizers to the masses. I don't want to hit the mic. All right. And so basically what this is modeled after a Moog. This is called a Behringer Model D. It sounds really, really good. It is much more reasonably priced than the Moog. Yeah. So definitely I love playing around with this thing. And the reason I bring this up and show it is because it kind of, when synthesizers were starting to get into more people's hands, more people were having access to them, kind of like the basic breakdown of how a synthesizer works is you'll have an oscillator, right? Which just creates a repeating signal via electricity. And so this repeating signal then is turned into an audible signal once it is raised above 20 cycles per second. That's the bottom threshold for human hearing. So you got an oscillator, And then this one, the oscillator bank is right here. These are oscillators. There's 3 of them within this synthesizer. And then it kind of travels along over here, and you have quote unquote the mixer section. Yeah, that's what they call it, the mixer section, where you can determine how much of each oscillator you want. And then there's a couple other features. And then you've got the envelopes over here. And envelopes is well, they call them modifiers. Basically, it's a filter and then the amplifier. So it, how do I say this correctly? So you can shape both how the sound is introduced once the key is depressed, and then how the filter is introduced also. So those are the envelopes right here, and then you've got your little output section. And then over here is an LFO, and that stands for low frequency oscillator. Low frequency oscillator. So basically, that is, in its truest sense, that's frequencies that are sub-R hearing, so like 0 hertz to, I guess, 20 hertz. And so LFOs are very cool because they can create movement within a pitch. So if we've got a pitch at 100 hertz, and we also want to modify it, or affect it, we can send it to an LFO, and the LFO will move at a much slower than 100 hertz, but it will still audibly affect our signal. And I'll give you an example of that in just a second here. So that's a nice piece. That's a nice piece of hardware. But I realize that the majority of people will definitely have software, hopefully, within their DAW. So I want to talk a little bit about soft synths. Let's put on the display. Cool. So I am a Logic user, and when I first started getting into synthesis, the one that I really explored the most was something called Alchemy. Whoop, let me bring that back up. There we go. And so Alchemy is cool. And I'm just going to talk about the features that I just talked about on that hardware synth. The envelope for the filter and the envelope for the God, what are they calling it? They're calling it the loudness contour. The loudness. It's a voltage controlled amplifier. Sorry, VCA. That's the technical term that I was stumbling around with. So basically, we've got our oscillator right here, and just like on the Model D that I had shown you, we choose a wave shape that we want. The most basic, frequently occurring are wave shapes called sawtooth, or saw for short, sine, which is just a single frequency, square, and triangle. And like I said, sine is just a single frequency. So if you play 100 hertz, it is a 100 hertz wavelength, no overtones. Let's see here. Square is only the odd partials, meaning that if you put down 100 hertz tone, that the 200 hertz will not be there, but 300 hertz will be there. So it goes 100, 300, 500. It skips the evens. Let's see here. As does triangle, although triangle, the upper partials die off quicker. Square wave, all the partials are there much longer. And sawtooth is every partial. So I'll show you how that sounds. So right now, let's start off with sawtooth because it's at the top. Nope, we're going to start off with sine wave because that's the basis. So I pull up my channel EQ. There we go. Good to see you, friend. I love these analyzers. They are super cool, and They are very informative. I try not to get myself stuck too often using my eyes instead of my ears, but they're great tools. So here is a tone, a sine tone. Let's see, let's pull that volume up a little bit. Oh boy. Let me make sure that, okay, you all can't hear that. Shoot, Logic does not always play nice with the streaming service that I run. So let me fiddle around. This was literally just working, and then Logic crashed, and now I feel like I need to change a couple things. All right. Sorry, please bear with me. Thank you for your patience. Let me see if I can get this happening. There we go. So you recognize that sound from the previous weeks. That's not what we're interested in right now. Here is this tone. Why am I not hearing it? What is going on? Am I doing something wrong? I probably am. I totally am. Oh man, ain't that how it goes? Ain't that how it goes? All right. So thank you again for your patience. So sine wave right here. Just a single wave. You can see it right here. There's no additional partials. It is just this one fundamental partial. And by partial, I mean partial tone. It's not a complex tone or a compound tone. It is a simple tone. I like to call it a partial tone because that seems to be the clearest to me. So it's just this one partial tone, nothing else above it. And this one is about at 100 hertz. I'm playing a G. Let's see how this compares visually and audibly to our square. Remember, square is just the odd partials. There you go. Yep. Different. You can see it. You can see it all. So like I said, we got 100 hertz and then times 3, because 3 is an odd number. We got 300 hertz. You can see it right here. 300 hertz. Right. Makes sense. And times 5, it's going to be 500 hertz. Oops. Excuse me. Come on. Oh, I went backwards. And then here's 700 hertz, 900 hertz, and just on up. All right. So this is all the odd partials. It is called a square wave. What's the next wave we've got? Triangle. So triangle is also all odd partials, but you can see that it has a steeper drop off than the square wave. It's this kind of sounds like a sine wave, a souped up sine wave. So there's the triangle. Let me get you a square wave back up here, just so you can compare. Oh, I got some modulation on there, my bad. Come off. No. Well, shoot. Is that even where it was coming from? Oh, I think I had it in here, yep. Alright, sorry about that, I got myself confused. So yeah. Here's the square wave again versus the triangle wave. See how they dip off faster? And let's compare them again to the sine wave. Where's our sine wave? There, just like that. Simple tone. And last but not least, the mighty saw. Alright, let's bring you some more volume. So you can see here how this has every partial. It's got 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, etc. Alright, some people, I don't know what I was going to say. So those are the 4 basic types of wave forms, wave shapes. Triangle, square, sine, and saw. And so the other thing that I wanted to mention here, started talking about envelopes a little bit, right? So an envelope is going to determine how an envelope as it relates to our volume is going to determine how swiftly the note comes in, how long it stays where it's at volume wise, and then how quickly it exits. So right now, nope, wrong button. Right now we've got, yeah, there we go. That's what I wanted to see. You can see down in this area right here. The four most common control settings are attack, delay, sustain, and release. Attack just means how quickly the note comes in. Right now my attack is set at 0. I push the button, the key rather, and it immediately sounds. You can take that back. This is half of a second attack. Here's the difference. You can see the difference. Here's 2-second attack. And whoop, not bad. And then so that's the attack section. The decay is how long you're gonna stay at that volume before you hit the sustain. So you can have decay be whatever you want to be, and it will make more sense once you know this. Sustain is the volume that you're going to hold at. So check it out. Let's increase that delay. So you hear the volume come up and then go back down. There's the sustain. That's the ending volume, so to speak. And the delay is just how long it takes for us to get there. So for example, if we've got a sustain right there and a short delay time, if I increase the delay time, it'll sound like this. Versus the short time, right? And then the last one in our ADSR is release. Once I lift up the key, how long does it take for that sound to die away? Let's do this. So basically right now release is set at 0. I push the key down, I got sound, I lift up, sound gone. Sound, lift up, sound gone. Let's make this release more pronounced. Do like 2 seconds. I push the key. I lift up. Now the sound is gone. 2 seconds from when I lift up to when the sound is officially no more. That's what release stands for. So you're going to use this a lot. This ADSR, attack, decay, sustain, release. That's going to be a key controller in our synthesis, and how it affects the VCA, the voltage controlled amplifier, which is going to produce the sound. Essentially, it's a volume knob. That is going to be a big key. Right now, Logic has it synced to where this ADSR is automatically linked to my master volume here. So they've already done that for me. The other thing that I want to talk about right quick is filters. So filters are, just something that your sound goes through that affects it. So a really common filter is they call them a low pass filter. Lows pass through, highs get cut off. It is a low pass filter. So check out how that affects the sound. Right now I've got, what's going on? You need to be over there. Okay. So right now I've got a low pass filter, and the cutoff for it is 16 Hertz, which is below our hearing threshold, which is why no one hears nothing. So I'll drag it up slowly and you'll start to hear sound. This could be kind of cool if you could see it. My screen is, there we go. See, each partial is being introduced the more I open up the filter. Now I can close the filter. kind of cool little, I don't know, lightsaber effect. But this is another, right after the oscillator, filters are like probably the next coolest thing that you can play around with. So in terms of shaping your sound, they can really do a lot. So let's bring this filter down and let's give this filter its own individual attack, delay, sustain, release. Oh, I want another one. I want a new one. Yes, there it is. So we can have our filter for our volume doing one thing. Sorry, I know I'm jumping around here. No, here. Yes. Oh, shoot. There we go. So we got our master ADSR, attack, delay, sustain, release. We've got our master one right here. And then we've also got one for our filter right here. So for example, say I wanted, hang on. There you go. And you hear that. You hear that because the filter is taking longer to open. It's taking 4 seconds to open the filter versus, I don't know, what was the attack on this one? 0.3 seconds, 0.34 seconds. So it's cool just by like these two basics, you can really start to manipulate sound. And then we can bring our sustain down here. And so it's just kind of a cool way to help sculpt your sounds, to help shape your sound. And it's cool to use it kind of, you can help these with like the groove of the music that you're playing with here. I'm trying not to go too long. I know I'm already over my limit of 20 minutes, but I just want to show kind of a little bit of what's happening here. Okay, so this bass is coming in way too late, right? Way too late. Let's bring this attack closer. There we go. Let's put a filter on it. Let's adjust our filter. That's kind of a cool little, see, it already is starting to give it more movement, just, versus when we had the piano playing the bass. Let's get them both in there. Whoops, wrong one. So what I did just there was I dropped our synthesizer down an octave. That's a feature that you will definitely have on your hardware synthesizers. And in soft synthesizers, it's going to appear as different names. This one's, they call it tune. On the hardware synths, they come in feet. They're kind of funny. I think it's based off of organ stops. And I'm looking at my Behringer right now, and it's got from 2 feet to 32 feet, and the 2 feet means it's higher, the 32 feet means it's lower. So the longer the pipe, the lower the note. So that's, I think it's, yeah, they get these from, the origin is from organ stops. But anyways, so that's another cool thing about, the arrangement. Doubling the bass with a lower octave with a synth sounds kind of cool, right? I'm not sure I'm convinced that it should be a square wave. Whoop. Let's try a triangle. Actually, let's pull this down. No, that's not what I want to do. That sounds cool. It definitely has got more movement to it than just the piano, and that's what arrangement's all about. It's really, for me, a lot of cool stuff happens in the arrangement. You know, it's a place where there's like a lot of room for creativity. So I like kind of getting in the weeds there and seeing what I can find. Yeah, exactly. Play around to see what you like. That's what it all comes down to is, you know, I've said it in the other videos. It's just about really getting in there and playing around and finding out what you like and kind of learning about yourself and just going from there, coming up with music that expresses who you are and allows you to express yourself through the music. It's a cool thing. So if nobody has any questions, I think I will call it a video. I hope you enjoy it. Oh, got to do the pitch. If you want to do some private lessons, I would love to help you out. Honestly, that's kind of why I'm doing the whole thing, is, you know, to just help people out. I've been doing this for a while, and I feel like I've got some information and some experience that could be valuable. So send me a comment. Hit me up through my website, nathangoheen.com. And we can have a little 15-minute consultation, figure out what you want to do, figure out how I can help you accomplish what you want to do. It's a 100% money back guarantee. So if you do not like the service that you have received, I'll give you your money back, no problem. So hit me up. You got nothing to lose. And the last little plug, I don't have any of my music up on YouTube, but if you go to any of your favorite streaming sites, and you want to check out some music that I've done, feel free to. It's also up on my website. Again, that's nathangoheen.com, and I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon. I am on YouTube. I just haven't uploaded the videos myself, so that's why they're not under my page, but they are on YouTube. So I hope that was helpful, and I would love to hear from you. Thank you for your time, and I will see you next Saturday at 2 p.m. Have a great week. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay beautiful.